What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Sniz Fantasy Football channel. I am your host, Matthew Woody. I'm here with my co-hosts, Jack McLean and Trent Love. How are we doing, guys?
Doing well. What about you, Trent?
Doing great. Great day to talk about some sleeper wide receivers.
Yes, sir. Sleeper wide receivers in 2020 that can possibly win your league. Let's get straight into it. First, we have Keenan Allen, currently being drafted as the wide receiver 20 in leagues. I actually think this is disrespectful, but there are plenty out there that are going to disagree with this pick and say that he's a bust candidate this year. What do you guys think about that situation over there in Los Angeles?
I can see the argument for the bust. Obviously losing Phillip Rivers, and we don't really know about the quarterback situation there yet with Tyrod Taylor and Justin Herbert.
I definitely think Tyrod Taylor's going to start the season and
Yes,
more
I
than
would
likely play over half of the season.
Yes.
And I actually believe in Tyrod. I think he's not going to be flashy, and he's, like Trent said to me before, Tyrod's more of a safer quarterback with the ball. As in Phillip Rivers, he's a risky guy. He likes to throw it downfield a lot. And Tyrod's going to be safe with the ball and find guys like Keenan Allen.
And Keenan Allen's route running is so good. He's going to get open. And
one of the shiftiest wide receivers off the line of scrimmage in the league, for sure.
If Tyrod Taylor can just get it in his general area, he's going to be able to catch the ball.
Yeah,
you go ahead. They do have a lot of weapons there, but we saw last year they had the same weapons, and he still performed fine.
Oh, exactly. And they only lost Melvin Gordon, but they still have Austin Eckler, but still. It doesn't matter. Keenan Allen is the wide receiver 1 in this offense. He's going to ball. Last season, he was a wide receiver 8 in PPR. In 2018, he was a wide receiver 11. In 2017, he was up to wide receiver 3. This 3 straight seasons of being a wide receiver 1 just proves that he's an elite category of wide receiver in fantasy football.
For sure.
Consistency is key, for sure.
It is.
And also, he's met 90-plus receptions in each of the last 3 seasons, and his strength of schedule is very favorable this year with 15th overall. It's a very moderate strength of schedule, which gives him a lot of opportunity.
I agree.
Yeah. I had him on my team last year. I remember one game where I'm pretty sure he dropped over 50 points in our PPR league. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
We also did have bonuses on our league, so that's not the standard scoring, but...
So he probably at least 40 in standard, maybe.
Oh, who do we have next?
With my first sleeper today, I got Tyler Lockett. ADP at 22, which in my opinion, it's a little low, not extremely low, but just a little bit. Finished wide receiver 17 last year. I really like this pick because him and Russell Wilson's chemistry is only getting better, especially in the red zone, though. That's what I really like about it.
I completely agree. And with people saying that they're going to take DK Metcalf over Tyler Lockett, that's something I just can't hop on the bandwagon for. I'm a big Lockett fan, but he's not really high in my rankings. I think I have Lockett around 20 or 22, something around there, but it's not a bad pick though. He definitely has the higher upside in the offense compared to DK Metcalf receiving wise.
Yeah. Out of his target share, 27.4 of those were in the red zone. He had 17 red zone receptions, which is second in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he had 8 total touchdowns, averaged 14.7 fantasy points per game last year. I think he's going to honestly improve with DK coming into his role into the offense. Tyler Lockett is their wide receiver 1 for now, and I see him getting more red zone targets. Him and Russell Wilson are still going to be clicking. What do you guys think about, Jack?
Yeah, absolutely agree with the consensus here. I'm taking Tyler Lockett over DK Metcalf. Yeah. Again, bouncing off what he said, the consistency's just there, the chemistry's there. DK's a beast, don't get me wrong, but you just can't pass up how long Russ and Tyler Lockett have been doing this together.
Oh, completely.
And the trust they have with each other. So
yeah. And to add on to that, Tyler Lockett only had 2 drops over the whole season. And whenever Russell Wilson was throwing to Tyler Lockett, his QB rating was 124.7, which ranks 5th in the league.
It's pretty solid.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Shocking stat.
Yep. Well, with my first fantasy sleeper, I'm going to go with Calvin Ridley here. Ridley's current ADP right now is wide receiver 17, which is a mid wide receiver 2. However, I believe Ridley has potential wide receiver 1 upside this year. Couple things to back that up. We look at that Falcons offense. The past 2 seasons, Matt Ryan has threw for over 600 pass attempts, and in his 12-year career, he's only missed 3 games. We also can look at that Falcons defense, which really didn't improve much over the offseason. So that's going to lead to more shootouts, and the run game. They brought in Todd Gurley, but we all know that's more of a pass-heavy offense in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, completely.
Then we can look at just the pure target share he's going to be getting. We saw Austin Hooper, who had 100 targets last year. He's going to be out of the mix. And then Mohamed Sanu being traded to the Patriots mid-season. Now, when Sanu left last year, over the 6 games that Ridley played without Sanu, he had 49 targets, 34 receptions, 493 yards, 3 touchdowns, and was good for 16.9 PPR points per game. That was on pace to finish tied for wide receiver 4th with Cooper Kupp last year.
Wow.
We did see them bring in Hayden Hurst. However, I'm really not as high. A lot of people really high on Hayden Hurst.
I'm not.
Yeah, me either. I definitely don't see him eating up the same amount of targets that Hooper did last year.
Hayden Hurst is like 16th in my rankings. He's a sleeper tight end, but like
I don't see
Hayden Hurst having nowhere near the production of Hooper. Even though Hooper missed games and had up to like 80 targets, I don't see Hayden Hurst seeing all that production.
I don't either.
He's not the player that Hooper is.
One more interesting stat, in Ridley's first 29 games, he has caught 17 touchdowns in his first 29 games, which I think is pretty impressive. So
wow.
He's a great talent.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, Calvin Ridley, I love Calvin Ridley coming into 2020. He's definitely going to produce, going off of Julio Jones, taking coverage off of him and taking a little bit of pressure off of him in the secondary. Hayden Hurst being there, I think that Julio and Calvin Ridley are going to soak up most of the leftover targets that Hayden Hurst doesn't take from Hooper.
Absolutely.
But that's just only going to benefit Calvin Ridley even more.
Yeah, I think Hayden Hurst, he's honestly more of a blocker than he is a catcher. You may see him more in a play action game. But
he's athletic. I can't. Don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong. He is athletic. He's a great player. He does have some hands, but I'm just saying I didn't see him in Baltimore. They didn't really use him like they did. Mark Andrews.
They also had a 3-headed monster though over there. Like
they did.
They with Nick Boyle.
It almost reminds me of the Antonio Brown Juju situation in Pittsburgh, where they kind of bounced off each other.
And this offense is obviously a passing heavy
similar
offense,
to Pittsburgh is Julio playing the AB role, and then
it can be just like
Ridley
that.
Like in the Juju spot.
Julio's gonna get doubled no matter what. So
and again, that just leaves more opportunity for Ridley on one-on-one coverage.
Agreed, 100%. So I got another hot one here. This is a good one. Second-year wide receiver Marquise Brown.
Hollywood Brown.
Currently going off the board as wide receiver 30. Finished as wide receiver 44 last season, but let's not forget the man had a screw in his foot all season while playing. A screw in his foot. What do you guys think about Marquise Brown this year?
Well, I don't think a lot of us really knew about the injury for most of the year. He really didn't come out publicly and say it.
That was something that came out after
and
the season.
Saw him, I think it was like the first game of the year against the Dolphins where he just exploded off the...
I mean, that's
like
when you picked him up
touchdown.
automatically off the waivers.
Yes, I picked him up after week 1. His big playability is outstanding.
His speed is ridiculous.
Consistency could be a little iffy here and there, but you cannot pass up the
being
big
the second option in the offense behind Andrews in the receiving game. Already a run-heavy offense that might limit his upside a little bit, but definitely being the true wide receiver 1 there and being healthy all season will definitely help his numbers.
And we see all the time how that jump for a rookie wide receiver going into the sophomore season, what they can do.
Oh, yeah. The strength of schedule may not favor him this year being 28th, but it's being with Lamar Jackson is something that can favor you in general. The man is explosive. He can find guys.
You've got the defense worrying about him pulling out of the pocket running so much.
And like we said, before he even got hurt, we've seen what him and Lamar can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
In week 1 and 2. So
he can make plays regardless. His speed kills defenses. So I see him.
We all know there's not much to know about Marquise Brown since we didn't get to see too much of him, but definitely being that fast guy he is, an explosive wide receiver, we can definitely see some crazy numbers from him and maybe possibly league-winning potential this year.
I can see some really big weeks from him.
There's been a lot of people that think he's going to be a wide receiver 1, step up into that top 12 wide receivers in PPR this year. What do you guys think? Comment down below if you think Marquise Brown can be a wide receiver 1 this year in fantasy football. Who's our next sleeper?
I got Jarvis Landry. ADP at 29. Last year finished wide receiver 14. I think Odell is going to take a lot of pressure off of him. Like last year, Odell didn't have the year that he usually does, and Jarvis kind of was the wide receiver, the top scoring wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns. The Browns also got a better O-line. Baker's, I think, going to bounce back next season. This last season humbled him. The O-line's going to protect him more. He's going to be able to have more time in the pocket, give Jarvis Landry the ball.
For sure. It's going to both benefit Jarvis and Odell, I believe. So.
Yeah, they feed off each other. They played college ball together.
The question is,
best friends.
Do you think
best friends.
Yeah.
Do you think Jarvis outscores Odell?
Honestly,
I'm gonna say
this
no.
might be a hot take.
It
I'm
might
gonna
be
say
yes,
no.
I think Jarvis will outscore Odell Beckham.
Hell, I'd love that for my dynasty league.
Jack disagrees.
But out of all of Jarvis Landry's target shares, 26.6% of them, 28.4% of them were in the red zone. And I mean, just like Tyler Lockett, he's going to get a lot of those red zone attempts. He's going to be getting more touchdowns. You can see him. He gets contested catches. I think he ranks 11th with contested targets on 29 targets. He caught 48.3% of those contested targets. He will go up and get the ball. He has some of the best hands I've honestly ever seen.
That's true.
His route running is outstanding.
People are gonna hate. I think people are gonna hate on that pick you just made, but it's because of one reason. It's because they play for the Cleveland Browns and Baker Mayfield's their quarterback. Yes. People are just biased against them in general.
I can't get on board with you on the Jarvis outscoring Odell, but I do agree with this pick for where he's being drafted. If you watch the sleeper quarterback video, you'll know I'm very high on Baker, and I do believe we'll see a bounce back year for Baker Mayfield, which will only benefit Jarvis.
I've been getting Jarvis Landry in 7th round mocks,
which is insane
all the time.
Yeah. I mean, you can't pass up where
if you're going to go running back heavy this year. This is a must target player. I think. I believe.
And like you mentioned, better offensive line to only protect Baker, get the ball to Jarvis even more.
Yeah, he had 138 targets last year. I can see the same this year.
Even you can go for 140, 145 targets.
Yeah, he also had 1,174 yards with 419 yards after a catch. I like him. I think
Odell's going to have the better season. I'm going to have to agree with Jack, but I definitely think Jarvis Landry and the whole offense in general is just being slept on this year. I'm not saying they're going to be amazing like we all said 2 years ago whenever
they were Super Bowl bound.
Yeah, Super Bowl bound, and everybody said they were going to go 13-3. Yeah, no, that's not happening.
Odell and Jarvis are really close for me, but what separates Jarvis from Odell is the red zone.
Do you know where
the red zone? Jarvis will be targeted, and he will catch him.
Currently, I have Odell at my wide receiver 18 and Jarvis at wide receiver 25. So it's a pretty close margin in terms of rankings. It may not look like it being 7 spots away from each other, but definitely it's closer than people think.
Personally, I think Jarvis could finish maybe even wide receiver 15. And Odell's just a little far behind him at 17, 18. But, I mean, don't get me wrong, both great talents. They're both going to put up numbers this year.
This is a bold prediction.
Jarvis Landry, in my opinion, top wide receiver.
Boiling hot take here. I like it, though.
Oh, yeah, I like it. We like it.
Do you guys think that Jarvis Landry can do this? Comment down
below.
Please let us
know.
Let us know. So, moving on to the next one, who do we have, Jack?
So I'm going to go with the man, Julian Edelman. Right now, where he's being drafted is currently wide receiver 33.
Disrespectful.
Which is crazy to think, considering in 2019, he finished as wide receiver 5 in PPR leagues. Now, granted, we all know Brady is no longer in New England.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever we were all expecting Jared Stidham to be the starting quarterback, I can understand why Edelman fell, because we've yet to see Stidham play a regular season game yet. But
even if Stidham was the starting quarterback,
he was still too low.
Still too low
because he's the only option.
It's ridiculous.
There, really. Now I know we're not as high. I'm not as high on Cam, but I will definitely say I would much rather have Cam than Jared Stidham.
Yes,
I agree with that.
And we look at New England really outside of James White, which we talked about in the running back sleepers. I mean, who's eating up the targets in New England? We saw N'Keal Harry. Yeah. He looks like a bust. Mohamed Sanu looks like he's running around with a piano on his back. They've got the worst tight ends trio in the entire league. So I think Julian, he did. Now, one thing to mention, he did lead the league in drops last year.
That's true.
That is concerning. However, even with all those drops, he was still able to finish as wide receiver 5.
But he was being force fed.
Yes, the amount of targets he was getting and his receptions. He's not one of those big play kind of receivers, but he's just that constant 10 to 12 yard slant. Give me every time. I mean, every time.
I like this pick for sure. I mean, where is he going off the board again? Wide receiver 33?
33. I mean, I've seen him going in the 8th, 9th, 10th round in drafts.
I love to get Julian Edelman just like Jarvis Landry. I have Jarvis Landry at 25, Julian Edelman at 26 in my rankings. They're right there.
Right there with
borderline wide receiver 3s, flexes, options. Like, they're honestly going to be amazing wide receivers, I think, this year for where you're getting them.
Yes. Again, this is mainly about value. Where these guys are going.
Oh, yeah. Mainly about the value.
I love the volume he will be seeing.
Yeah, like we said last year, he got force-fed, and more than likely he's going to get force-fed by
again,
Cam. Because Cam loves to find those little guys.
We all know
in the middle of the field.
fantasy football is all about opportunities. I mean,
opportunities,
and he's going to have ample opportunity to succeed.
Once again, even though he's getting older and maybe he was injured all last season, but he was still putting those.
We all know
numbers
how
up.
tough he is too. I mean, he just plays through injuries.
He will.
The shots he takes, and he just gets right up and keeps going.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is a great pick here, just like the Jarvis Landry pick. These are great sleeper picks. What do you guys think? Comment down below if your sleeper picks. Who are you picking this year, late rounds, that you think are going to win your fantasy football leagues? All right,
guys.
Let
us know.
That is going to be the conclusion of our sleeper wide receiver episode. Be sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Visit our Twitter and Instagram @SnizFantasyFootball. Peace.